Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, state of emergency. Charlotte ignites for a second night. Protests turn violent.
Shot fired.
One person in critical condition. Angry demonstrators throw bottles, stomping on cars.
There's other people.
This reporter knocked to the ground. Police in riot gear fire tear gas. The National Guard and state troopers called in amid new questions about that deadly police shooting and the gun officers say they found on the scene.
I will fix it. Donald Trump promoting his plan overnight to end the violence.
I would do stop and frisk. I think you have to.
Trying to recruit black voters with a controversial policy. Hillary Clinton weighing in on those deadly shootings.
It's unbearable, and it needs to become intolerable.
And stepping off the campaign trail, preparing for Monday's big showdown.
Satisfied?
Hollywood twist.
Not for years.
Focus me.
The award-winning actress accused of having an affair with Brad Pitt, now speaking out for the first time, shooting down speculation and sharing a message for Brad and Angelina.
And near miss. The scary moment on the runway. The danger this pilot never saw coming. What this stuntman is saying this morning about the closest of calls.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. We want to get right to that breaking news. State of emergency in North Carolina after a second night of protests.
Take a look at these images. Demonstrators and police clashing as hundreds fill the streets there in Charlotte. Another violent night. At least 7 people, including 4 officers, injured.
And take a look at this morning's cover of the Charlotte Observer, showing an officer and a protester working together carrying a wounded man.
A lot of tension down there. And Robin, you speak with Charlotte Mayor Jennifer Roberts in just a moment. Let's get the latest first from ABC's Eva Pilgrim, who is on the scene in North Carolina. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. State of emergency. You can see the damage behind me. The windows of this shop broken. The inside of it flipped inside out. Businesses here like Bank of America telling employees not to come into work today after another night of violent protests.
Shot fired.
Overnight, protests turning violent, leaving one person on life support this morning after being shot by another protester, according to police.
It makes me sick. It doesn't have to be like this. This was a peaceful protest.
The critically injured man shot outside the Omni Hotel. Hotels trying to keep guests safe. Protesters marching into the heart of Charlotte, police in riot gear as they fire tear gas to try and disperse the crowd. This trash can thrown into the Bank of America building. People looting the Charlotte Hornets team store, running out with armfuls of clothes. At least 7 people injured, including 4 police officers. This CNN reporter knocked over in the chaos. This man hit with tear gas. The protests in response to the fatal police shooting of 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott, who was shot outside an apartment complex on Tuesday.
The police just shot my daddy 4 times for being black.
His daughter Facebook live streaming outside the scene. She says he was reading a book and unarmed, but police say Scott had a gun and wouldn't drop it despite being told repeatedly to do so. Our affiliate WSOC obtaining this photo of what police say is the weapon recovered at the scene.
Mr. Scott exited his vehicle armed with a handgun as the officers continued to yell at him to drop it.
He got out his car, he walked back there so that they could comply, and obviously compliance still gets you murdered because that's what happened.
Authorities identifying the officer who fired the shot as Brentley Vincent, also African-American and now on paid leave. Renewed calls from the ACLU this morning for police to release any body cam or dash cam video they have that shows what happened. The police chief saying they will not release that video until this investigation is complete. Robin?
All right, Eva, thank you very much. And joining us now is the mayor of Charlotte, Jennifer Roberts. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. A peaceful prayer vigil turned into a second night of violence. Mayor, what is it going to take to return calm to your city?
Well, we want people to know that we are open for business today, that our center city is open and the streets are open, and we are hoping for a peaceful day. We are preparing for this evening, And we know that a peaceful protest and many folks who do want to express their views peacefully turned into something else last night. And, you know, we had several faith leaders last night who were in the crowd, who were linking arms and trying to put themselves between the police and the protesters and working to calm things down. We have great folks in our community who really want this to be peaceful and want us to have constructive dialogue to move our city forward.
And many are wondering and are asking, are you considering a curfew, implementing a curfew?
We certainly are going to talk about that today. We did sign a statement last night to declare a state of emergency, which gives us that authority.
You mentioned constructive dialogue, and yesterday you spoke with President Obama. What did he tell you?
President Obama was gracious enough to call and say that his thoughts are with the city of Charlotte, that if there are federal resources that he can help with, that he knows there are many cities in America that are facing the same thing as we work very hard to overcome some of the racial divisions that we still have in our country.
So, Jennifer Roberts, as people wake up in your city after a second night of violence, what is your message to them this morning and for the rest of the country that is watching?
My message to the citizens of Charlotte is that we are open, that we are working together to get through this difficult time. We are a can-do city. We're a collaborative city. We are a place that welcomes visitors, that includes all voices at the table. And we are determined to work together to make sure that we return to that state of collaboration. So I tell our citizens to have peaceful protest and to strive to work together.
Many are hoping for the same. Mayor Jennifer Roberts, thank you very much for your time this morning. All the best to you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
And many are hoping that by seeing the video, that will ease concerns or let people know. Well, we'll let people know one way or another what really happened there, and that can help.
And the mayor will see it first today. And you're going to head down to Washington this afternoon to speak with President Obama about all this.
I will. This will be a topic of discussion today with the president, and we will have his response tomorrow morning here on GMA.
That is coming up right now. Of course, this comes in the middle of the race to succeed President Obama. North Carolina, highly contested state. Both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are weighing in on the violence with just 47 days until the final votes, 4 days before that first big debate. Cecilia Vega, Tom Yamas covering Clinton and Trump. And let's start with Tom. Hey, Tom.
George, good morning to you. From the get-go in his campaign, Donald Trump has done things in an unconventional manner, and that's one way to describe his outreach to black voters during a swing through the battleground state of Ohio.
In his pitch to black voters, Donald Trump promoting a controversial policy, stop and frisk.
I want to know, what would you do to help stop that violence, you know, black on black crime?
Right. Well, one of the things I'd do, Ricardo, is I would do stop and frisk. I think you have to. We did it in New York. It worked incredibly well. And you have to be proactive.
But New York abandoned the tactic, which some argue encourages racial profiling by police.
It's so unsafe where you walk down the street and you get shot or your child gets shot.
The Republican nominee's outreach hitting an awkward note in Cleveland. Trump inviting former boxing promoter Don King to introduce him during a meeting with black pastors. King, once convicted of manslaughter, was discussing racism in America when he said the N-word in church.
If you are intelligent, intellectual, you're intellectual Negro. If you are dancing and sliding and gliding, Negro.
Trump praying with those pastors and seeming to side with the family of an unarmed black man who was shot and killed by a police officer in Tulsa.
To me, he looked like somebody that was doing what they were asking him to do. And this young officer, I don't know what she was thinking. Did she get scared? Was she choking? What happened?
Hillary Clinton on the trail in Florida, also weighing in on the police shootings in Tulsa and Charlotte.
We have 2 more names to add to a list of African Americans killed by police officers in these encounters. It's unbearable, and it needs to become intolerable.
Clinton praising police, but admitting more work could be done to bring communities together.
Look, I know I don't have all the answers. I don't know anyone who does. But this is certain. Too many people have lost their lives who shouldn't have.
Now, we're just 4 days away from the first presidential debate of this cycle, and there is some concern within the Trump campaign that he's not focusing enough on this first debate. While Hillary Clinton is taking time off the trail to prepare, Trump has a full schedule. He was going to focus more this weekend, but now he's added an event. Sources do tell us they've uploaded past Hillary Clinton debate performances onto an iPad so Trump can study them. George?
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. A few more days to go. And Michael, see, you're going to talk to Cecilia Vega now.
Yeah, Cecilia is down in Orlando with the Clinton campaign as Mrs. Clinton prepares for the debate. And good morning to you, Cecilia.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. You know, the Clinton team says that Monday's big debate is possibly the biggest night of this race so far. We're talking about two different candidates here, two very different styles of debate prep. You heard Tom say that Trump's team is a little concerned he might not be preparing enough. Clinton's team said this is basically all she's doing right now. She's essentially off the trail starting today in these intensive debate preps. She's studying briefing books. She's doing mock debates with the Donald Trump stand-in. She's reviewing footage of him in past debates just so she could get a sense of what he's like on that debate stage. Now, Michael, the Clinton team tells us that they are worried about one thing. They're not sure which Donald Trump will show up, whether he'll be the aggressive candidate or the more reserved one. They say that that's made this tough for them to prepare for.
Well, she'd have to prepare for two people, obviously, but you mentioned mock debates. Is there someone who they stand in for Donald Trump? And if so, who is it?
You know, it's interesting. The Clinton team is keeping this one very close to the vest. They're not telling us who's playing it, but I'll tell you this. You know, Shark Tank star Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban says he volunteered to play Donald Trump. He also says the campaign never returned his emails on that one, Michael.
Very interesting.
All right. Yeah, let's bring in Matt Dowd to talk about this right now. I want to get to the debates in a second, but first we got some new polls out this morning. New national polls showing that Hillary Clinton may be firming up her position of a 6-point lead now in the four-way race, although Donald Trump's still holding very close in those battleground states.
Yeah, I think the fascinating thing about this race is the equilibrium of this race seems to be about Hillary with a 3 or 4 point lead. I think the problematic thing for Donald Trump is that he has never taken a lead in this football game. He's gotten in the red zone a number of different times, but never actually taken a lead.
Yeah, and that brings us to the debates. You know, there's a big debate about debates, whether they matter or not. They tend to reinforce where the race is already heading. Some big exceptions, 1960, Kennedy, Nixon, 1980, Ronald Reagan, and a lot of people think this year could be different as well.
Well, I think these debates this year are going to matter more than anything else. We've seen Hillary Clinton spend $100 million on ads. It has no effect on this race. You've seen Donald Trump add a whole new campaign team, not really an effect on this race. I remember in 2004, George Bush, who I was working for, had a 6-point lead going into that first debate. Didn't do well. We came out of that debate dead even in this race. So I think that's the possibility for this.
Second debate that flows from this is what's going to matter, what people actually see on Monday night or what they hear and talk about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, determining a debate winner is actually two different things. One, how do they perform on Monday night and what goes back and forth in that? But really, in the aftermath, what are people talking about? Al Gore won the first debate, but in the conversation in the aftermath of that in 2000, George Bush actually turned out to be the winner of the debate.
Okay, Matt Dowd, thanks very much. I'm going to be anchoring our coverage of Monday's big debate. Whole team will be there as well. That's live at 9 Eastern right here on ABC.
Lots of folks will be watching, as you know, George. And now to the latest on those bombings in New York. The FBI trying to find these mystery men seen here on surveillance tape in Chelsea, saying they could be possible witnesses. ABC's Lindsay Davis is on the scene where one of the bombs was found. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning to you, Robin. Police want to stress that the two men that they're looking for are witnesses only and are not facing any criminal charges. This morning, the FBI is asking for the public's help in locating these two men who authorities believe found this undetonated pressure cooker bomb in a suitcase here in Chelsea on 27th Street on Saturday.
They are witnesses. There are no criminal charges. They're not in any jeopardy of being arrested.
Authorities say surveillance video shows the two men removing the improvised explosive device from the bag and then leaving the vicinity, ditching the device, but walking away with the suitcase.
They removed what turned out to be a pressure cooker, placed it on the sidewalk, and they rolled the bag away.
This image was taken Saturday night, just a few blocks away, and within an hour of another device actually exploding on West 23rd Street. But it was this device, with at least a dozen fingerprints found on it, that led the FBI to the suspected bomber, Ahmad Rahami. Authorities believe the suitcase could contain even more vital evidence.
It could be a rich environment to pull other things from it.
And now, new video is emerging of Rahami, seen here in a hair salon next to the family's fried chicken restaurant, just one day before the attacks in New York and New Jersey. Investigators are also inspecting Rahami's backyard, where it's believed he detonated explosives in the days leading up to the attacks. a sort of test run. We're also getting a closer look at the journal he was carrying when police took him down. Now bloodied and with a bullet hole, authorities say it contains references to jihad and attacking non-believers. Investigators say they're still trying to determine if Rahami had help. As for those two mystery men, the FBI says that it's possible that they somehow were able to disrupt the device, preventing it from going off. They also add that those two men are very, very lucky they didn't get hurt. Robin?
Hopefully they will be found soon. Thank you, Lindsay. Now let's go to Amy with the morning's other top stories, starting with the crash of a military jet.
That's right, Robin. A U.S. Marine fighter jet has crashed into the Pacific Ocean off Okinawa. The jet, similar to this one, crashed shortly after takeoff. The pilot ejected safely and was rescued by an Air Force helicopter. The cause of this crash still under investigation. And a dramatic crash off the coast of Greece. Take a look at that. An Apache helicopter plunging into the sea, nose down. The engine apparently failed during a training exercise. Remarkably, though, both pilots survived. And a firefighter has now died battling the massive wildfire burning in central California. Ryan Osler was killed when his water truck overturned. The fire at Vandenberg Air Force Base is 70% contained now, but crews are worried heavy winds could whip up that fire once again. Well, crews have been working to restore power to Puerto Rico. Millions of people were plunged into a blackout after a fire crippled the island's main power plant. Water service has also been limited in that area. And finally, it's not your fault if you feel like skipping the gym today. According to science, we are wired that way. In an article now going viral, and understandably so, a Harvard researcher explains that humans evolved to rest as much as possible to conserve energy so they could go hunt for food and escape predators. So it is, guys, our evolutionary instinct to be lazy. So if you don't feel like going to the gym today, you can blame the hunters and the gatherers.
So if you're watching us on the treadmill right now, you can just feel free to stop. No, keep going. Thanks, Amy.
Well, you know what? From the kicker to a close call, now to the scary moment on the runway. ABC's David Curley has more on this near miss.
It's the moment air racing pilot Tom Richard never saw coming. It's a fellow pilot striking him from behind at 60 miles an hour, shearing off part of the plane's tail and coming very close to his head.
It happened so fast, I spun around faster than the blink of an eye.
The plan was for the 8 planes to take off at the same time for the race. But with engine trouble, Richard's plane is shut down. He signals to abort the takeoff, opening his canopy to caution the other pilots and signal officials, a message they didn't receive in time. Steve Senegal was piloting the other plane. Video from inside his cockpit shows the dramatic impact too.
Tom, how you doing? Hurt?
The first thought on both pilots' minds, concern for each other.
Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't see you.
For Good Morning America, David Curley, ABC News, Washington.
So that's close.
Right? Yeah, it is.
Well, the good thing is both pilots walked away, minor injuries, so no one was seriously hurt.
Yeah. Thank goodness for that. Let's go to Ginger right now. A lot of flooding there in the Midwest.
Right, we were talking about this coming yesterday. Now the flash flood emergency that was declared overnight in parts of Minnesota, just north of Minneapolis, and then also in parts of Iowa and Wisconsin, dozens of roads closed. And then in Virginia, they've had the remnants of Wjla up against a really stationary front, bringing them a lot of flooding. So we still have flash flood warnings this morning. Lots of rain falling in northeast Iowa, west central Wisconsin, and a couple of areas of concern across the country. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the cool cities, brought to you by Macy's.
It's Macy's Super Saturday Sale with all-day specials Friday and Saturday. Like 3/8 carat total weight True Miracle diamond earrings, now $159. Bras from Valley, Maiden Form, Vanity Fair, and more, $18.99. All 7-piece embroidered comforter sets, $49.99. Travel Select 4-piece luggage sets, only $49.99. And take 30% plus an extra 20% off mixers and attachments. Macy's Super Saturday Sale. Plus, Plenty members can earn points every day for savings at Macy's.
Okay, finally, it's here. Today, the first day of fall. The autumnal equinox arriving at 10:21 this morning, but our temperatures today feeling more like summer, really mid-80s for highs, but A-OK because today we're going to see more sunshine, starting out in the low 70s, getting into the mid-80s today. Now tomorrow, a little bit like mid-August, 87 for a high temperature. There's your sunshine, a little bit in the way of some rain and clouds early Sunday morning, but fall for sure. It's going to feel like it starting on Sunday.
And coming up, the latest on Brad and Angelina's divorce, that rumored other woman breaking her